Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Test, test, test. Hello, hello. Test, test. Test, test, test. Test, test, test. Okay, hopefully that's good. Bah! Hopefully that wasn't too loud. Yeah. A bit. Yeah, I had a feeling that might have been too loud when I saw the bar. There's like a little bar. Hi, J Risk. There's like a little bar that goes up and down. And it went like red and like flashed. Like there was danger. So I was like, ah, that was pretty too loud. I was trying out astral projection last night. I ended up dissolving a bunch of boundaries, like dualities, between like the body and like outside, like inside outside. And then like some extra ones for like thinker thought. And yeah. I feel good today. It makes sense. And I feel good. Yeah, it's like all the other enlightened beings, like it seems like they're once they get enlightened, they're like, ah, whatever. Like I'll just time to do stuff that isn't learning every city, like getting every spiritual power possible. But I'm the opposite. Maybe I'm too obsessed with spiritual power. You've probably been asked before, but do you have anything to say about the effects of psychotic substances pre-post awakening? I have been asked before, but the truth doesn't get stale, so I'm always happy to answer more because it's a really good question and it has a really good answer. I used, so about 6 years in, I was like, like everyone's talking about mushrooms, like let's try it out. So I got some really, really strong magic truffles and did those. And it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool because you know, I'd never done a trip before. And whenever I take mushrooms, I get like an energetic pulse of energy from the base of my spine upwards into my brain. And energetic pulses of energy are always good. And like, you know, I did it alone, I didn't do it with anyone because I've had a lot of really, really intense spiritual experiences. Like I have like 3 to 7 extremely intense spiritual experiences every day. And this was like, this is really, really powerful and amazing and very different to my normal experience, but like, I can kind of handle it because I've been in a lot of really tough places before and I could handle those. So yeah, I tried it a few times and then about 2 months before enlightenment, maybe 4 months actually. Yeah, 4 months before enlightenment. I basically I was lying in my bed and I was like, you know what, fucking I always had this feeling. It was like, why do anything? It's like, why do anything? It's like, why do that? Because I have like so much equanimity about everything. It was like, well, why do that? Like, it doesn't make sense to do anything, really. And I could never really get past that question. It was like, oh, I could do this thing. Oh, why do that? I don't know. And I was like, wait a minute. Why not do that? Like, the question why not do that had the same answer as why do that, which is like, I don't know why I would not do that. And what I decided to why not do, it was get enlightened. And that worked. So then I so yeah, I was like, oh, okay, I was like, why not do it? It's like, may as well like try and do something. Like, may as well like actually try to do something instead of like not do anything. Because my life was pretty much just like being a neat, playing video games, and like getting enlightened all the time for free, because that's just how I live. I was like, okay, I'm actually gonna try and get enlightened. So I started trying, and one part of my trying was every morning I would write out my vows. So vows for what I wanted, vows for what I would do, and my vows began with like I vowed to. I did a lot of vows after big spiritual experiences, which were like, I vow to reach full enlightenment as soon as possible for the benefit of all beings. And that was a good one. And then I started doing, these daily vows, which are like, I vow to realize the truth, the three marks of existence of impermanence, suffering, and no self in all sensations. And then it's like, I vow to be kind and compassionate. And then I started adding this thing, which is like, for the benefit of all beings. For the benefit of all beings. So then, I decided to trip again. And when I decided to trip again, and this time I didn't just like trip without having any like preemptive like intentions. So like all the time before this, I was just tripping, and I was like, I'll just try and trip. Sometimes I did trip, where I was like, one time I did trip where I was like, okay, I'm gonna trip now in order to like achieve second path, like the next level of spiritual attainment, and I think that worked. But yeah, this is like the first time I was like, okay, I'm gonna like trip, and I'm gonna take it like really seriously. Like, so I took it seriously before, but even more seriously. And I kind of wrote. What I did was, before I did the trip, I wrote like what I wanted. So the first things I wrote was to get insight into morality, because I wanted to be more moral. I wanted to be kind of compassionate, and insight into, I think, impermanence or no self, one of the two. And I had like the most amazing, like useful trip, hey Amanda, that I've had like ever. And then a little later on, I tripped again, and I wanted to get insight into the three marks of existence for the benefit of all beings. And then that trip was absolutely amazing. And there was a very distinct difference between these trips, where beforehand I was like, I'm just gonna trip. I'm just gonna like try psychedelics, or these ones where I had a specific intention. It was magic truffles. So this was my vows before one of my most, like, the best trip of my life, probably. I vow to be kind and compassionate, to do no harm, to see the three characteristics of all in all sensations, impermanent, suffering, no self, to live a path with heart. That was probably the best trip I had. And recently I had a really, really good trip. I did two, because I was testing out this principle a bit more scientifically. So the first trip, I did no vows, and I just had like a normal trip. It was exactly like all the other trips I had when I didn't do any vows. And then I did these vows. For the benefit of all beings, conceptual or otherwise, perceptible or imperceptible, across all levels of time, in all aspects of space, may the Buddha and Dharma flourish, dedicated to my teachers. And I had a really good trip. So I would say, if you want to have a good trip, and you want it to benefit your path, try dedicating it to all sentient beings, or to realizing the truth of sensations, particularly impermanence, suffering, or no self, or to realize morality and, like, yeah, be kind and compassionate. Yeah, hopefully that answered your question. Sorry, Grex, I don't do more Tau anymore. Once I used to seek these kind of powers, now I just let it happen. About non-psychedelic things like weed, alcohol, sedatives, or anything else you've had, how do they feel post-awakening? Weed's amazing. When I had it. This is Red Bull. To be honest, post-enlightenment, and also pre-enlightenment, for me, I'm a very high energy being. Like, all the time. My energy's going like this. Very, very fast vibration. So I'm pretty much always, I'm basically always tripping. I'm basically always on, it feels like I'm always on mushrooms, basically. So weed and caffeine and sugar and all that stuff, like Red Bull. They're subtle. They're just subtle. It's like I could have I had 3 Red Bulls, and I was like, it's quite hard to tell the difference. Weed as well, like I could get really, really, like I got completely, totally stoned, and it was like harder to walk, I guess, was like the main difference. But like perceptually, not much. It was a bit slower, I think. Maybe, I don't know. It's hard to tell. But I think weed's amazing. I've always loved weed. I really loved weed. Caffeine seems completely irrelevant from what I can tell. Sugar, I think sugar's good. I actually take a lot of sugar, quite intentionally, and I think it does good things for me. I'm not sure why. I haven't tried. I don't like alcohol. I just don't like the taste. I'm just a creep. I just don't like the taste. I haven't tried any sedatives. Although I will say this, Stuart Davis was visited by an 8-foot-tall mantis creature, and he went to a. I'm just gonna let you pause that. Mantis entity, sorry, not creature. That was mean. Mantis entity, 8-foot-tall mantis entity, wearing like a robe. And then he went to a Buddhist like channeler person who was good at channeling, and channeled some answers from the mantis people about stuff. Hopefully my voice is okay. My voice volume's okay. Sorry. Yeah, he channeled some answers from the mantis entity, and it said that alcohol was the biggest thing that blocked him from interacting with them more, or like, yeah. So to me, that indicates alcohol bad. But that's all I really know about alcohol. That's the only source I trust about alcohol. Yeah. And the same with weed and caffeine. That's really interesting, Amanda. I think beings who have like a lot of energy in their body all the time, it's like weed and caffeine. It does something, but it's hard to tell. It's just hard to tell. The energy is more of a trip. It's like, it's a stronger drug. You're always on a stronger drug, and that's energy. But it was magic truffles, J-Risk, and if you live in Amsterdam, then you can order them online from a pretty good seller. Obviously, only if you live in Amsterdam, because then it's legal. I think they do ship to other places, but I wouldn't recommend you do anything illegal. That would be bad. Because it's against the law, obviously, and bad things. If it's against the law, that means it's bad. That's what that means. So, I do live in the UK, just so you know. I always thought the effects would become less noticeable post-awakening. The way I see it, J-Risk, and I think your perspective makes sense from your perspective, which is like, this is a drug, and I consume it, and it has effects on my body based on chemicals. But I don't really have that perspective. My perspective is that it brings you into contact with an energetic being who grants your wish, basically. Gives you what you want. So, if you want something, and the being is willing to grant you that thing, the being of magic mushrooms, or the being of, like, weed, for example. I think weed is a being as well. Caffeine probably is. Sugar probably is. But weed and psychedelics especially, you know, you come into contact with this being, and if what you wanted was a trip, then you can get one. But if what you wanted was insight into reality, then you can get that too. And that was not going to change pre or post awakening. You just get what you want, because it's a powerful energetic being that can grant your wish. So, yeah, that's the way I see it. Interesting, but what about non-psychedelics? I think weed is psychedelic, to be honest. Weed is psychedelic. It's like, what do you want out of weed? Well, if you want to just relax and chill, then you can get that. But I think if you want to get fucked up, if you want to get psychedelics, you could probably try asking the weed being for things. Cocaine, heroin? I've never tried cocaine or heroin. I don't know. My perspective of those drugs is probably the same. They're probably beings. They're probably beings, but a lot of people probably interact with them in a trying to get an exchange. So it's like, I'll take this, and then I'll in exchange I receive this. It's like, I'll give you this, in exchange I get this. It's like, maybe approaching it more spiritually would be beneficial. Wouldn't be surprised. Just joined, what's the drawing? It's Hanjo Yutaku is now live. It's me advertising that I'm live. I like to keep it open because I tend to draw things which help explain stuff. In principle, with the right intention, any drug could have beneficial effects. I think so. Yeah. I think so. But I've never done cocaine or heroin, so perhaps I'm wrong. But yeah, I believe I believe, this is what I believe. And this is just me. And make sure you do drugs legally. I would never recommend you do drugs illegally. If I had a vow to benefit all beings, and I really did mean it, like I usually do. Always do, actually. Then I would interact with cocaine or heroin energetically as beings and be benefited on my path. But I have to try it. I'm willing to try. I'm super ready to try it. I could be completely wrong. But yeah, I see everything as an energetic being, especially drugs. Especially what people call drugs. I think that they're definitely. Like, they're the most alive things that you can, like, interact with. Yeah, you're literally consuming them. It's like it's a very... Yeah, it's obvious. It's just obvious. At least for psychedelics to me. But I have very, 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 very good energetic abilities, and I can kind of tell what's going on when things are happening to me, and maybe other people can't. In what way? I can just feel the same thing as another person, even if they're across the other side of the earth, energetically, and like at the same time as the other person, and also like make shifts happen in them. Like I can just go like this, and someone would be like, ah, yeah. And then I can feel what happens in their body when I do that, and I can feel it in my body, and we feel it at the same time. And that's why I sell coaching. It's very useful. Very useful. Do you notice a shift in how other beings, including plants and animals, respond to your presence throughout your path? Recently, the foxes around my neighborhood haven't ran away from me as quickly. They're just kind of they kind of just like look at me for a little bit longer, and then walk away slowly. Like they're not that afraid. Before they would just run every time. So I think I don't know. The foxes around my neighborhood seem a bit more chill. But yeah. Are the beings responding to my presence? I think trees have always helped me out. I think trees have always been a very beneficial presence in my path. It was just kind of up to me to take the leap and start talking to them back. Not really sure about other plants or animals. I just go on walks around my neighborhood and stay inside. I'm a degenerate. I play video games all the time. I'm a neat. All I do is walk around my neighborhood and stay inside. If I went and talked to other animals, I'm sure they would notice more. I would notice more differences. Is that a Zen code, J-Risk? Don't call that a Zen. I'm pretty sure that's not a Zen code. Sorry, I have a very... I love the Chinese Zen, and that's what I consider to be like real Zen. And that seems like a misattribution to me. Maybe not. Maybe it's not. Maybe I'm dumb. Do you still experience thoughts? No, not right now. Not right now. I feel like sometimes. Sorry, I'm an amateur. It's okay, J-Risk. Yeah. You just hit a very particular trigger for me. It's like one of my only things that I get triggered by. And that's okay. I just really love Chinese Zen. I find that animals are staring at me or hanging out near me more. That makes sense, Amanda. Yeah. It's like animals... I think animals are very energetic. They're very energetically tuned in. It's like how they navigate most of their reality, I think. In a very natural way, too. My bad, it's okay, J-Risk. I forgive you. I'll just reword your question to like, what's your perspective on the classic saying? If a tree falls the first time you hear it, does it make a sound? I'd say it doesn't make a sound. If there's nothing, if nothing perceives it, that's my opinion. Official opinion. Okay, let's get a more blank. Let's get a blank canvas here. Oh, looks like I'm drawing something. Okay, well, whoever wanted that to see that, like, there you go, enjoy that. I don't know why I drew that. Maybe a better example is Schrodinger's cat. I feel like I gave you the quantum answer for that last one. I think if nobody perceives it, it doesn't happen. Yeah, it's materialism is good at some stuff, it's bad at other stuff. My dog's a rock star, thanks Judge Jan. Appreciate that. You agree? Yeah. It's definitely a thing. Quantum stuff, it has something to it. I figured out. After enlightenment. I didn't say that. Everyone forget about that. So how's the weather? Let's read some books. It's partially undermined 10 years of academic study in the physical sciences, but I'd accept it was all built on unprovable presupposition. Ugh. Yeah, I mean, if you're really interested in truth, then you just end up... You just have to accept that materialism isn't it. And science is a great tool. It's a great tool, but it's not a great way to discover the truth of reality. That's just it at the end of the day. It's like, I mean, by the way, I'm nearly done with a PhD in artificial intelligence. So, it's like, this is an egg, and this is a crack in the egg. No, I'm sorry, I meant to do a circle. Fuck, I can't draw a circle. That's better, I'll accept that. So, like, on this side, we have... this is, like, repeatable... Things that repeat. Like, repeatable stuff. And then we have, like, non-repeatable stuff. Science is really good at figuring out this stuff, but it's really bad at figuring out this stuff. And like there's like quite a lot of this. Like this is like a very large amount of stuff here. Like, and then within this category, like we have like non-repeatable stuff, like with no evidence, like you can't have evidence of, without any evidence that you can have evidence of. And like science is really bad at this stuff, but this is real too. Like science is like only the repeatable stuff is the real stuff, where they're pretty not actually like that. Good scientists aren't like that. They know it's a tool. But yeah. My degree was maths and physics with philosophy on the side. Yeah. It's funny. It's like once you get caught by the truth trap, you know, you're kind of fucked for life. So you did a bit of philosophy on the side, and then you just got completely fucked, and now you're just searching for the reality answers, the real answers. You know, a lot of people, I feel like a lot of people are interested in truth, but they like don't, maybe they're just not ready for spirituality yet. Spirituality's got to go to, I mean, there's a lot of shitty spirituality, but there's also a lot of good spirituality. So I feel like if everyone read this book, then they'd be like, oh, spirituality is good. Maybe Red Bull does have an effect, you know, I'm talking faster. Intentionally slow down. I might do a Red Bull every morning. This is great. That's such a good reply. This is an amazing reply. No, I'm naked. I'm gonna get banned. What the? There's more windows than this. What about my paint window? Ah. On the path, you tend to find dualities. So you're like, this is observer, and this is observed. And then you notice, you're like, oh, wait, hold on a sec. This is kind of like a fake duality. So this doesn't actually really exist. And I can kind of get rid of this line between them. Because this kind of separation is illusory. And then you're just left with like you're left with the coin. You know, it's like two sides of the coin. You're left with just the coin. And it's like, oh, okay. Now that I've realized that this whole thing's illusory, it's like I don't actually need this container anymore. So you kind of got this container for where you're approaching reality. It's got a duality in it. You realize the duality isn't real. Okay, so I can get rid of the container too. And that's Miyamoto Musashi's principle, which is once you attain a principle, detach from it. So then you can get rid of this container as well. So now, so what you could do is you could stop there. You'd be like, you know, like that's the truth. It's like I've realized the truth. It's non-dual. There's no duality, right? So you've done that, and now it's non-dual. The truth is non-dual. But there is actually, you know, if we let's say we have two different worlds here. In this world, there's the world of containers. Excuse my handwriting. And in this world is like the non-conceptual. So this is a duality here. I'm just using it for explanation's sake. But really dissolve this duality after after it's been inhabited. And in the world of containers, you know, there's all these different dualities, you know, all the different coins. All these different dualities with things, you know, split down the middle. It's like good and bad, space, and nothingness, everything and nothing, and like the separation between these dualities as well. But the non-conceptual, once you move out of the container space, the non-conceptual has like a bunch of stuff in it too. It's just extremely fucking weird, and it makes no goddamn sense at all because it's not conceptual. So I think there's like a bit of a misconception, which is like, just because you get rid of the container and you access the non-conceptual realm for like, if you could even call it a realm, it's not a realm. You access the non-conceptual, if you can even say you access it. You can, and then nothing makes sense in non-conceptual. Just because you get rid of a container doesn't mean that you understand everything immediately. There's still like a lot of stuff to understand, which isn't in this container realm. And it's kind of like this stuff, everything in this non-boundary, which is impossible to truthfully express with words. This isn't really a boundary, because everything non-conceptual is kind of conceptual too. Everything in this non-boundary of the non-conceptual is very complicated, like specific, diverse, individual, different. And I think you can kind of tell how realized someone is by looking at how they talk about this kind of stuff. Because a lot of people who haven't done any like good actual work, like make you focus on getting rid of containers. So like, you know, just get rid of all the containers, work through all the dualities, and then you're done. But really, it's like, this is where the good stuff is. So really, what you should be doing if you want to be on the path and be successful is doing work there. Wow, that was a long video. Jeez. Your new channel pick is very nice. Thank you, Kara Tezer. Do you have any thoughts about well-known Western spiritual teachers such as Eckhart Tolle and Rupert Spur? I think I just answered your question, J-Risk, with that video I just made. Let me check out Rupert Spur. I really don't like it, but maybe it's fine. Maybe it's good. Maybe he's fine.
Of two things. One, the true and only self of pure awareness. And two, a series of thoughts, images, feelings, etc. So, by the way, I don't mean to imply that these thoughts, images, feelings are...
Nah. Check out Yuji Krishnamurti. Like, Yuji Krishnamurti is the gold standard enlightened person. You should compare people to him. Compare people to him. Eckhart Tolle and Rupert Spur, from what I can tell, have the same problem, which is like kind of catering to the normies, not really enlightened, fake. Frank Yang, like Frank Yang is great. Daniel Ingram's amazing. Lisa Carnes is good. Who else? Kenneth Folk. Michael Taft. Check out people like that. They're way better. They're just way better. They're just way better. Like, it's like, if you ever feel like you're able to grasp what someone's saying, like, that's a bad sign. It means they're, like, being intellectual, which is lame and bad. I'd love to see you do a discussion with Frank Yang. I think a conversation between you would be really illuminating, as you both take the explaining from a relatable perspective rather than some silent monk. Me and Frank are planning to have a chat, actually. He said he's going to message me when he's down to do it, so... He did say that a few months ago, though, so... Yeah. But we chat every now and then. We're friends, I'd say. We're online friends. Acquaintances. No, friends. I'd say we're just past the friend threshold. But it's only over Instagram DM, so... But yeah, we're planning to do a discussion. So glad to hear. Me too. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Chase him up on it. Make it happen. I screenshotted your comment. I mean, I've already chased them up on it. Is the thing. I don't want to keep bothering. I don't want to keep. I'm embarrassed. I'm new to YouTube. He's already famous. He's got like 1 million subscribers. I don't want to be a pest. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. I get you. I mean, maybe I'm being mildly autistic. Could definitely be the case. Because he was like, I'll let you know, or something. And I took that to mean, like, stop messaging me about this. I'm gonna let you know. But he could have just meant, like, you know, it's fine for you to keep messaging me, and I'll let you know. I don't know. I'm embarrassed. I think he's past the footage. I know, Jervis. It's just, it's hard. It's just hard. I'm not. You know, I spent like 7 years just basically staying inside playing video games and not talking to anyone. So I'm just not very good at this stuff, okay? I got my first girlfriend at 26. What can I do? I had thoughts then. Whoever it was that asked if I still had thoughts. I had some thoughts then. Take it you're not a big fan of Sam Harris? I like to go by energetic instinct, so I'll look it up. Did you see that chamber fade into a cucumber? Why would you ever do a chamber fade into a cucumber? No video? It's really a bad sign. Love you. Love you too. I'm just kidding around as well. Why no video? What are you scared of, Sam Harris? Scared I'm gonna energetically connect you and then evaluate how enlightened you are on my stream? Hugs for Hanjo. Thanks, Samantha. He has no pictures of him as is. This is very suspicious. What are you afraid of, Sam? Sam Harris. Images. We're just gonna go on images. Seems terrible so far. Seems really bad. I'll listen to some audio, I guess. Fine.
I mean, I can see that there's an element of self-preservation here, because if you start shooting people and you don't have enough ammunition to shoot everybody, well, then eventually you're going to be killed by a mob. But
which one's him?
Right, that there's nothing to aspire to. They have captive populations who they are messaging to.
Blech.
Want to see things totally fall apart in our society. And if you're
fake. Sorry. Yeah, don't like him. Don't like him. There's a headshot of him floating around the net. The thing is though, Amanda, when it's a photo has usually two energetic presences. Well, it has the energetic presence of everyone who is in the photo, and it has the energetic presence of the photographer. So you need like 5 different photos to tell which one's which. Usually, like, is it the photographer? So like a selfie is like the ultimate energetic connection to someone. You can just fucking like whoop. And a video is even better, obviously. A video is quite obvious. A video makes it very obvious if you're enlightened or not. I think it makes it very obvious. Like, you just compare how people move their bodies to how Yuji Krishnamurti moves his body, and like compare their eyes to Yuji Krishnamurti's eyes, and you can just figure it out. You can just figure it out.
I don't see any question. I don't see any question there. No, you already have the answer. I'm going. I could ask. No. You think that you have questions. You don't have any questions.
Look at the way he moves his hand. It's so insane. He's like not even thinking about it at all.
Well,
I didn't see any link, J-Risk. Space more videos of him didn't come up. I already hate him, to be honest. J-Risk he's probably absolutely terrible. I'm very elitist. I'm very elitist. If you're not enlightened, I don't like you. That's like how it works for me. When you're like a spiritual teacher, when you're like a public figure, like you have to be enlightened. Like just don't not be enlightened. That sucks. I won't push you any further. Yeah, I could tell already. I could just tell. But maybe not. Maybe I'm gonna do it. There's a neuroscience background. Bad sign. I'm a dick. I'm a dickhead. I just don't like people that are enlightened and are public figures. Oh my god! This is Yunman, okay? This is what Yunman has to say about this stuff. Yunman was a Zen master. Ordinary phonies consume the piss and spit of other people, memorizing a pile of junk, a load of rubbish, running off at the mouth wherever they go, bragging about how they can pose 5 or 10 questions. Even if you pose questions and answers from morning to night until the end of time, would you ever see? Where is the empowerment? So... yeah, was that eating the shit and piss of other people? That was pretty good. Of the household name level spiritual teachers, who do you think are legit? Daniel Ingram, Michael Taft, Frank Yang. This card seems pretty good. I need a list of household name people to this J-Risk. Oh, Jack Cornfield. Jack Cornfield seems legit to me. Does he? I actually need to look him up. Hi, Big Daddy Skywalker. This would be annoying if he doesn't. Thomas O'Hara, ever heard of him? You're the detector to run on Thomas O'Hara, Amanda. I haven't heard of him. Bentino Massaro? He's okay, yeah. I like Bentino. Some of his stuff I get a bit edgy on, but he seems okay. Maybe I'm just wrong. I haven't really looked at him. Here he is.
We live in a culture. You understand what I'm saying? And
Jack's great. Jack's definitely got it. He's great. Let's look at Bentino, because I feel bad about chatting shit. A lot of people say Bentino. They like Bentino. He's probably great.
it's really, really that simple. So how do we create peace on Earth? It just becomes another way of fighting. Like let's fight to create peace on Earth, and it's such a big trend in the world right now. All the social.
He's pretty good. He's pretty good. I can feel the difference. Yeah, that makes sense that he made a shift and you can feel the difference. I mean, this is just how I did it. This is him, Thomas O'Hara. CPA official. What the fuck? What the fuck? I'm not really. I'm having trouble fighting this. Amanda. Deepak Chopra. Dalai Lama, I think I already was not a fan of, based on my initial. Is this Deepak Chopra?
Hello, my friends. This is Deepak Chopra.
Terrible, awful, terrible, awful.
Eliminate nuclear weapon. So, you see the...
Nah.
I got shit togetherness. Feel high like Mount Everest, forever fresh. So good, I think we want another yes. But no to fascism and classism.
You can just tell. You can just tell. You can just tell.
Same shit, different assholes, flash the bowl, capture cowboy, take away his lasso. We're going forth to a new day, our own way. This is our time, not what they say. They playing foul play, I'm playing James Brown. We're gonna find out.
Television. Most people are unaware of how damaging television is, but unfortunately, got going on, including emotions or...
Not bad, Amanda. Yeah. Something's up.
For most of it, I'm not going to say all, even though that's definitely... that would be okay. All is good, but we'll say most, so that there isn't any rule.
Something's up. Something's up. Something's up, but he's okay. Something's up, though. Something's up. Muji.
For life and for the opportunity of using a clear mind of and expanding in consciousness and in righteousness.
He's pretty good.
So, an ungrateful heart and mind will struggle. It's as though you're working against.
Yeah, I get that vibe, Amanda. Something's up.
Of this, and the more you take that step of faith to say thank you existence.
I feel like Muji is missing like one big thing, but he's pretty good. Yeah. A big thing. Like a big thing. Yeah. Adishanti.
Coming up and saying, hey, yeah. The deeper reality ended up to be far more paradoxical than any of that.
He's pretty good.
To be nothing and everything, and nobody and somebody. All of it happening at the same time.
He could do some tweaks, but he's pretty good. Adishanti is pretty good. Rob Barbea? I have seen Rob Barbea before, Big Daddy, and I think I liked him, from what I remember. Yeah, here we go. Is that him? Is this Sadhguru?
I listen to your...
Tell us whatever you can speak about.
Terrible, terrible, terrible. Awful, terrible. Awful, terrible. Rubber Bear. Recommendations for J-Risk. Mastering the Core Teachings of the Buddha. Daniel Ingram. Path with Heart. Get Cornfield. Saints and Psychopaths. Go Hamilton. The first one and the third one you can get online. The second one you can buy. What the fuck? Who's this absolute fucking babe coming up when I search for Rob Rabia? Okay. Where's Rob Rabia? I found him quite easily before. Is this him? Is there a babe?
For dealing with thought and meditation can be confusing.
No problem, J-Risk. Yeah, the first one is like a meditation manual. If you want to get there to meditation, it's pretty good. But if you don't want to do that, hey, who knows? I'm just horny now. I wanted to find Rob Rabia, now I'm horny. I was already kind of horny. Is this Rob Rabia? I mean, Michael Taft liked Rob Rabia, so he's pretty great.
So, welcome everybody. Really warm welcome to each and every one of you. I know that I know some of you, and there's some of you that I don't know and I haven't met yet. And
he sounds amazing. I love him. I'm a big fan. Yeah. Although J-Risk, I would recommend this book, to be honest. It's very esoteric, which apparently you don't like, but you'll love it. You should read this. Buy this book. There's something else. There's something else, J-Risk. There's something else that I need to recommend you, but I can't figure out what it is yet. The Head This Way? I haven't checked it out, to be honest, J-Risk. There's a book that's really useful for you, but I can't figure out what it is yet. I feel like all of my recommendations have been kind of bad to you, J-Risk. And there's a book in my head that I'm trying to remember, which would be a really good recommendation, but I just can't. I can't get it yet. I'm just trying to figure out what it was. All those books I recommend are really good, but I feel like it's not right for you. No way. Maybe it's hiding. Maybe check out The Way of the Sufi. Yeah. Oh, there we go. That is it. Check out The Way of the Sufi by Idris Shah. Yeah, you should just get that one, honestly. Don't get to the others. Yeah. The others are good, but that one's probably the best. Yeah. Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. Don't get any of them. Maybe put them all on the... Maybe put them all in the... What the hell? What are you... Who are you attacking, Rizma? Don't be mean. Maybe put them all in, like, a box, J-Risk, and come back to them in a couple of years or something. Yeah. That's a really that's a really that's gonna have negative effects for your life, Rizma. I don't know if you're doing that as a joke, but like, what if I really am like a Buddha, and I have like spiritual powers, and like I'm connected to a lot of spiritual entities that are very powerful, and you just said curse be upon Gautama. That's probably a bad move. Like, I'm just gonna say that. So, yeah. Yeah, people like to fuck around, but it's like, you probably shouldn't. Like, that's dangerous. You shouldn't do that. I mean, you're gonna have a bad time. Hi, Salmon. I've hidden you for your own benefit, my friend. Yeah, I mean, it's tough, to be honest, Jairus, because like you know, really it's about direct experience. It's not about books. It's not about concepts, right? It's never been about concepts. It never will be about concepts. So even though those books have a bunch of concepts in them, like, it's not about those concepts. It's about, you know, experiencing it for yourself. It's even really about experiencing it. You know, it's about having, you know, spiritual realization without the spiritual realization. It's about actually attaining, you know, enlightenment, really. And you can do that by reading books, although they might help if you use them as pointers to things instead of, like, conceptual resources. Yeah. I'm just reading Eckhart, finding it very illuminating. Also follow Frank Yang very closely. Yeah, it's important to not rely too much on words. Yeah. I mean, you can also get spiritual experiences from books and stuff, you know. But even experiences they're not the thing. Hey, Tennyson. Words point to sensations in a sense which point to beyond, so to speak. I don't think it's that linear, to be honest, Tennyson. The way I see it is, like, this is words, and they're like a cloud, but like behind the cloud is a sun, and it's like you can get kind of distracted by this like hallucination of words, this illusion. So that you can't see the sun, but the sun's still there, And it's actually behind the words, and it's filtering light through into them. So they're not really that separate, because a cloud isn't like totally solid. Yeah, this is more my model. Language is so imbued with concepts that distract from truth. The way I see it, like words, experiences, thoughts, concepts are all the same thing. They're all the same thing. Can I ask your opinion on a meditation-related question? I enjoy meditating and feel steady progress with it. Recently I found I can repeatedly deconstruct my self-idea / energy. It feels like a seeking, wanting, always scheming energy, and I can switch it off, let it relax, and just be, and it feels amazing. After that, it feels a lot of meditation feeds that same energy. What's the question? Is that a question? Is it coming? Is it the next comment? As I meditated on the words I am, I found a sensation behind them. The sensation was less cloudy, and yet still clouded something behind it. In my opinion, Tennyson, everything that you said there was just words, thoughts, experiences. Same thing. Yeah. Should I keep developing the meditator or start dissolving him straight? It might be fun to try and deconstruct the thing that is having a good time while you're meditating like that. So like after you start relaxing and letting it just be and it feels amazing, it's like, what is the thing that's observing that? What is the thing that's observing that non-seeking? It's like, that's a good question. You can always go up another level. You can always go like... Yeah. You have any daily practices? No. I did try meditation for a couple months. Like 7 years into my path. I was like, okay. I did 7 years in. Let me try meditation for a couple months. It was okay. I found that trying astral projection, I just tried some astral projection earlier, and I got the same energetic effects as I did from meditation, but a lot better. But maybe it's not all about energy, maybe it's about other stuff too. Concentration meditation seems pretty good for being happy. But I get insight basically for free just by being alive, so I don't need to do insight meditation. I just go for walks. Any recommendation to unstick from it, the word sensations that are all the same as you say? Because I've gone to no self by far was my astral projection attempts. Well, why don't you go back to doing those? But yeah, recommendation to unstick from it. Yeah, there's a thing in spirituality, and this is really weird because this is actually a very common theme. someone figures out something that works for them, and it works really, really well, and then they stop doing it for no reason. And then they start doing other stuff. It's like, why don't you just keep doing the thing that works? Any recommendations don't stick from it. Usually they get scared or something, like, oh, I'm scared. I go, I'm gonna stop doing that. Recommendation don't stick from it. I mean, maybe it's good that you're forgetting it. Maybe you're forgetting it for a reason, but maybe not. Any recommendations don't stick from it? I mean, what's stuck to it? What's stuck to it? What's stuck to it? I did at the time freak out because I thought I was dying. Yeah, that happened. Everyone does this. They find something which is actually a useful spiritual tool, then they get scared, and then they stop doing it. And it's like, keep going when you get scared. If you ever think that you're gonna die, that indicates you should double down on your spiritual technique, because that means there's actually gonna be something good after that. Whenever I get the feeling like that I'm gonna die, and I feel myself trying to convince myself to not do it anymore, that's when I know to double down and do it harder. And that's always worked out for me. I'm not dead yet, but if I do die, then maybe reevaluate my words. But yeah, like plenty of times I felt like I was gonna die, and I was like, fuck it. So yeah. Attention's a word too, Tennyson. Yeah, attention's a word too. Alright. I think that's gonna be it for the stream. Yeah, Tennyson, it's gonna try and convince you any which ways. Whenever there's something telling you that like you're gonna get a broken brain, you're gonna die, you're gonna, you know, you're not gonna be enlightened, you know, whatever that's coming up, double down. That's the rule. Always happy to help, Tennyson. No problem, J-Risk. Yeah, it's super fun for me, guys. So no worries. I'll see you around. Peace.